I wrote a book! And because this is such a huge announcement, I am interrupting my very own podcast episode to tell you all about it. For the past several months, writing this book has been my passion project, and if I'm being honest with you, it still is. I am currently elbow deep in the editing process, and it's hard not rushing through it because I seriously cannot wait to bring my book into the world. But as I always tell others, victories aren't victories because of reaching a certain destination or milestone. The victory is the journey itself. Recovery from an eating disorder isn't admirable because you can one day eat a burger without feeling guilty. Recovery from an eating disorder is admirable because of all the action steps you took to get to a place where you can eat without guilt. Speaking of journeys, that's exactly what my book will be about. Well, my first book at least. I have so many book ideas, but this is going to be the first one. It's going to be about my entire journey. It's a memoir written in the style of a novel in which I truly hold nothing back. I share my story in a way that is more raw, more vulnerable, and more unfiltered than I have ever shared before, uncovering parts of my life that have always been my own secret, up until it's going to be in your hands. I talk about what it was like growing up as an undiagnosed autistic girl, how my eating disorder developed because of that, how I manipulated the treatment system for years, and I get juicy in detail, what was necessary for me to recover, and really just every step of the journey that's gotten me to where I am today. If you want to be the very first to receive updates about my book, along with special discounts and gifts when I launch, be sure to sign up for my book waitlist over at livelabelfree.com/book. So that's livelabelfree, like the name of this podcast, .com/book. I cannot wait for you to read it, and with that said, let's get into today's episode. Welcome to Live Label Free, the podcast, where we talk about all things eating disorder recovery, autism, entrepreneurship, and so much more. I'm your host, Livia, and my mission is to inspire individuals from across the globe to live a life in which they feel fulfilled and free from limiting labels. I am so excited to have you here and cannot wait to dive into the episode. Hello, my friend, and welcome back to another episode of the Live Label Free podcast. I recently polled my audience on Instagram stories asking if you'd be interested in shorty podcast episodes, and the majority of you said yes, so here we are with our very first one. I had to take quite a long break from the podcast due to moving, writing my book, and health issues I was dealing with, which I, by the way, do share about in the last chapters of my book. And to be honest with you, starting the podcast up again felt like a big mental barrier because I already started worrying about how I was going to make enough time to be consistent with weekly content. But that's exactly when I realized I get to make the rules because this is my life and my podcast. And because I get to decide how I run my life and how I do my podcast, I also get to decide to choose to do so in a way that's sustainable, in a way in which I'm not constantly chasing my tail and constantly running myself into burnout. Because if you are anything like me, running yourself into burnout is one of your greatest skills. Anyways, I got this idea of doing more shorty episodes, which are essentially just going to be episodes that aren't as long as what you may be used to from this podcast, but they'll still be jam-packed with bursts of value, motivation, and insight. And don't worry, I still will be doing loads of longer episodes, but having a mix of both shorter and longer episodes will allow me to stay consistent. And honestly, I feel so much more excited again about this podcast because I'm trying something new and I think it's going to be super fun. So let me know by sending me a message on Instagram at livelabelfree or sending me an email, livelabelfree@gmail.com, what you think of these shorty episodes and if there's any topic you'd like me to cover, because I always love hearing from you and I constantly have so many content ideas and topics and requests I want to share on here, but then I don't and never do because I'm like, oh, that wouldn't make for a long enough episode. I mean, what? Sometimes less is more. By incorporating these shorty episodes, I'm giving myself permission to share way more value with you. And today, that value is a piece I wrote a while back about the fear of never feeling satisfied. When going through extreme hunger, most people have a hard time giving into all of their hunger because they fear they'll never stop eating. But this fear actually goes so much deeper, and that is the fear that you'll never feel satisfied. Just think about it. If you trusted that you'd feel satisfied, you'd also trust that you'd stop eating. However, your current reality is that you don't trust that satisfaction is possible for you, and thus you don't trust that you'll ever stop eating. So, how do we gain trust in ourselves that we will feel satisfied? Keep on listening to find out. For years, I spent every waking and, if we're being honest, sleeping minute of my life thinking about food. Planning, buying, preparing, ritualistically eating, and dreaming of food. I was afraid that if I let go of the reins, if I let go of this quote-unquote control over food, that I would completely let myself go and eat my way into obesity. The result of this hyper-awareness around every single gram, however, was a constant state of hunger. And I don't mean just physical hunger, I mean just mentally always hungry. Instead of eating to satisfy myself, I ate to protect myself from eating too much. Every meal and every snack was so important that I couldn't bear the thought of, quote-unquote, not being as hungry for one of them. So I ate breakfast, thinking about lunch. I ate lunch, thinking about snack. I ate snack, thinking about dinner. I ate dinner, thinking about dessert. And then I went to bed dreaming of all the decadent desserts and proper portions that I wished I could eat. The thing is, I could eat whatever I wanted. In fact, I knew I probably should eat whatever I wanted. But I simply wouldn't eat whatever I wanted. Why? Out of fear that I would never feel satisfied and feel hungry forever. You know why you never feel satisfied though? Because you never satisfy yourself. You know why you're always hungry? Because you don't honor your hunger. What if every time you were thirsty, you only drank one drop of water? You'd probably obsess over water pretty dang much. Our bodies and minds obsess over what we can't have, especially if it's something as essential to our survival as food and water. If you stop restricting and allow yourself to eat whatever you want when you want, you will feel satisfied. It's inevitable. Yes, it may, well, rather it will take a shit ton of food in the beginning, but that's because you have a lot of food to make up for. But the only way to know if you'll ever stop eating, the only way to know if you'll ever feel satisfied, is to fully give satisfaction a chance. I mean, what do you have to lose? The life you're living right now, you know it's miserable, and you know that if you keep living this way, you're going to keep staying miserable, so don't you think it's about time you try something else? And while we are talking about having nothing to lose, because let me tell you a secret, you don't. I want to invite you to enroll in my course, Extremely Hungry to Completely Satisfied. Whether you want to learn how to get rid of mental hunger, heal your digestive issues, accept weight gain, let go of food guilt, or all of that and more, my course, Extremely Hungry to Completely Satisfied, is the all-in-one resource I wish I had during one of the scariest periods of my life. Full of video presentations, lessons, and worksheets, my course combines scientific research with years of personal experience to yield a step-by-step framework that provides you with tangible action steps. People who have worked through the course have regained their periods, let go of food guilt, and completely shifted their mindset to come from a place of fear and scarcity to a newfound love for life. All in just 8 weeks. The best part is, I am so confident that this course is exactly what you need to achieve a life of freedom that I offer a 100% satisfaction, risk-free guarantee, meaning if you go through the course, put in the work, and don't get any results, I'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. So truly, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Enroll in my Extreme Hunger course today by clicking the link in the description below or visiting the link livelabelfree.com/extreme-hunger-course. That's livelabelfree, like the name of this podcast, .com/extreme-hunger-course. I am beyond excited for you to let go of a life that revolves around food and instead gain a life that revolves around your life. After all, you've only got one. And with that said, I hope to see you in my course, and if not there, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.